What's up, guys? So, we have found ourselves in Tennessee with wandering officers and the liabilities that they pose. This is why I keep saying you can't get rid of them. You can't get rid of them. When a cop comes under investigation, they'll just resign. The department will say, well, we don't have jurisdiction over them, so there's nothing we can do. That's total bullshit. If they're under investigation, they should not be able to go anywhere until the investigation is closed, and then it's supposed to go in their jacket, they like to call it a jacket, their personnel file, and then when they go to the next agency's supposed to see the history of this cop. I don't know, North Carolina's different from Tennessee. That's how it worked. That's how it used to work here anyway. So we're going to see what's up with this. It's a short video. Hopefully it'll be out under 10 minutes. And tell me what you think about it. Also, like 82% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. Click the button and we'll move along. Tennessee, Deputy Ray Faircloth. Here we go.
A deputy in Morgan County is facing a homicide charge, and he is a veteran law enforcement officer. Records show Ray Faircloth has worked for a string of agencies across East Tennessee, leaving a job often amid questions about his conduct. Tonight, WBIR anchor Robin Wilhoit and senior investigative producer John North look at the troubled career of that law officer, and we hear from a family about why their loss raises even more questions about who's allowed to wear a badge and carry a gun.
Ray Faircloth stands before a judge, not to testify about a case he's investigated, but to face a charge of criminally negligent homicide. In the courtroom gallery, the mother and father of the man, the longtime law enforcement officer, shot 4 times.
He was never a violent person. He was loving. Anything, he loved animals, music, art, but more than anything in the world, he loved his little girl, MJ.
Also, where's body cam footage? That's what I want to see.
She was everything in the world to him.
Kristen Cox keeps pictures of her son, John, close, proof of his life and a painful reminder of his death. She holds on to them while fighting back memories of that morning in May, the last time she saw him alive. She remembers running to the store while her son was heading to her Morgan County home.
As I was coming back, an officer about took me off the road coming around the curve. As I got up there, my husband come running to me, telling me, don't get out of the car, just stay in the car. I'm like, why, and he's like, they shot John. I'm like, they tased him? He's like, no. He said they didn't use a taser.
While Kristen was away, her husband, William, says John barged into the house, appearing to be under the influence. The parents admit the 28-year-old had fallen into addiction after losing a second child. William says he asked his son to leave. When John refused, he called 911. Morgan County Deputy Ray Faircloth responded to what came in as a burglary call. Cox recalls
burglary. Confused about that one.
Standing beside his son outside the house, John with a rock in his hand and Faircloth with his gun drawn.
And I told him, I said, you need to drop that rock, that man's going to shoot you. And then I started backing off, and that's when it come to him firing the weapon.
The family calls it an unnecessary use of deadly force.
Yes, where's the, I don't know, de-escalation? I don't know, maybe a taser. Nope, not doing that. They're going to deadly force. Why? Because they can.
They point to Faircloth's troubled past in law enforcement.
Basically that he's a monster that has hid behind his badge for many years, terrorizing people and victimizing people, and never ends up with anything happening to him out of it. He always gets a slap on the hand.
Faircloth's career in law enforcement started in Jefferson County. As a deputy from 2005 to 2008, he was reprimanded multiple times for safety violations, disrespect, and insubordination before abruptly leaving the department. Then Sheriff David Davenport wrote in Faircloth's termination letter, Ray, you are an intelligent young man, but I don't believe you belong in police work.
How does the next department not see this?
Faircloth would go on to be hired several more times for jobs requiring a badge and a gun. He joined the Anderson County Sheriff's Department in 2009, where he was suspended twice before resigning. He was hired, then fired by the Tennessee Highway Patrol in 2020.
So, Deputy, no, let's make him Highway Patrol. You can't make this up.
2012 for unsatisfactory performance during his initial probationary period. Then came the Oak Ridge Police Department, where he was suspended several times and placed on administrative leave for excessive force before eventually resigning.
It's better to identify a problem employee before that problem becomes yours.
David Moore with the UT Municipal Technical Advisory Service says Faircloth falls into a category known as wandering officers.
They used to call them gypsy cops because they disappear in one place and pop up in another.
Job jumpers hopping from agency to agency, often skirting consequences for bad behavior.
The first question becomes, why is the officer leaving? Why are they staying 3 months at this department and going down the road to another department?
Tennessee.
Well, it seems like if you looked in their personnel file, which should follow them, you might know that.
He has no standardized hiring protocol for law.
There we go. No standardized hiring protocol. Here, they probably just ride down the road and say, you want to be a cop? Here's a badge. Here's a gun. You want to be a cop? Here's a badge. Here's a gun. You can't make this up. No standardized hiring policies. Really? That's where we're at? For somebody that can literally take your life with no punishment.
Law enforcement officers. Moore says the Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission, known as POST, sets only basic requirements: age, citizenship, education, background check, training, and certification. Moore urges those who hire to dig deeper into an officer's past. So does former prosecutor and now defense attorney Nate Ogle. He advocates for a paper trail to follow officers throughout their career.
See, that's what I don't understand. There used to be a paper trail. Everything you did went in your personnel file, and when you went somewhere else, your personnel file went with you. Because the hiring agency, what they're supposed to do is contact your prior agency and say, hey, send me their jacket, their personnel file. Their personnel file is supposed to go with them. That's the whole point. At what point did they not think this was a good idea?
But I think there needs to be more thorough information available from the officer's past, perhaps some requirement of an actual full scope of their history in law enforcement, and that be provided to each and every agency to whom they apply. That way the agency is aware of what they're getting into when they hire this individual, and also prosecutors and defense attorneys would have access to that if it becomes important during the course of a case.
Ray Faircloth remains on administrative leave from the Morgan County
Paid administrative leave. They left that part out.
Sheriff's Office as he awaits his trial. A jury will decide if he legally used deadly force against John Cox or if he wrongfully shot the young father 4 times. For John's mother, no verdict will replace her loss.
Oh, I always thought it'd be my kids coming to my funeral, not me going to theirs.
That was Robin Wilhoit reporting tonight in response to questions from the lawyer for Ray Faircloth. He says in part, anytime an officer is faced with a deadly force threat, their policy and training requires them to have a deadly force response.
Yes, deadly force meets deadly force. He had a rock. You couldn't, I don't know, let's see, show up, ask questions, de-escalate, I don't know, maybe a taser. See, the problem is the female cops can't do the job because there's no way. A, they can't work by themselves because they can't do the job. They're taking nobody down. So they're going to shoot you. The big fat cops, they're not going to chase you more than 12 feet. So, of course, fear for my life. So they're going to shoot you. You're not winning with these people. What I'm trying to say. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Or fear themselves being seriously physically injured or killed.
What about the citizens? Shouldn't they fear for their life too? I'm just throwing that out there.
Right now, you can read more of that statement online from the lawyer at WBIR.com. Ray Faircloth is set to stand trial for the shooting death of John Cox next June.
Yeah, next June, of course he is. So, we will keep an eye on that one. And don't start playing. And see where that goes. Anyway.
A deputy in Morgan County is facing a homicide charge, and he is a veteran.
Stop. He is a veteran. He killed this guy. Shot him 4 times. Anyway. Let's see what the comments got to say right quick and we'll be out of here. Don't call 911 on a relative if you wouldn't want them dead. Policing, the only job where you can consistently lie to the public on a daily basis, know absolutely nothing about your job, break every law you're supposed to uphold, and still collect a paycheck at the end of the month from the taxpayers you have abused throughout the entirety of your career. Absolutely. When you don't punish and decertify criminal cops, this is what you get. When a cop breaks the law for the first time, prosecute and take their ability to legally be a cop. This is why trust in policing is a ship long since sailed. Not surprised. Lots of corruption everywhere. What do you expect to happen when you investigate yourself? Exactly. Let's see what this one is. Having retired after 35 years as a fire lieutenant paramedic, we as paramedics are held accountable by state law to operate within the scope of practice as well as fire department policy and our medical directors. Absolutely. Absolutely. We are, yes, checks and balances. As a medic, yes, everything you do is wrote down, scrutinized, checked, double-checked, and if you step out of line, they don't have a problem getting rid of you. How can Tennessee require so many professional standards for so many, yet law enforcement runs unchecked? Civil asset forfeiture, arresting sober drivers, Fourth Amendment violations, and excessive force, usually resulting in deadly force. It's time for a Tennessee legislature to address law enforcement. Absolutely, yes. It's time to get rid of most of them. Anyway, that's where this one. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Also, again, like 82% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. Click the button and we will move along. Let me know what you think about this one, and I'm out.